What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Chat with Langston podcast. And it's been a minute, and I'm finally, just back into it, back into content creation. I've been on vacation for a while, so just trying to get back into the podcast groove. But today, in my episode, I wanted to talk about something that I've been talking about for a while. With friends or with colleagues and just everyone actually, but AI, artificial intelligence, and I want to talk about that in today's podcast because I just think that it's something that is getting more relevant today and more important today in our daily lives. And it's something that I don't want to ignore. And I actually enjoy talking about this stuff. So I thought, you know what? Why not just record a podcast and maybe share it with all of y'all, especially people whom I don't know outside. So, definitely, I want to get into it. Especially, we're now living in a time with so many tools that are AI driven. I think the most famous one is ChatGPT. The whole Open AI Foundation, and I also did a podcast a little over a year ago, or probably a year ago, about ChatGPT, what I think about it, and I'm gonna put the link below in my bio because whatever I said in that essentially is coming true about how it's getting relevant, and I think it was pretty obvious as well. So I wanna talk about now. I think a lot of folks sometimes are thinking, "What is AI? What is it really?" Because surprisingly, some people still probably don't have a grasp on what it is. A lot of people surprisingly don't even know what Chat GPT is or what OpenAI is in general. And it's not just ChatGPT; it's just so many other tools that are out there, which even I still do not know until now. Because it's been used in almost every industry. And it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether you're a business analyst, whether you're someone in cybersecurity like me, whether you're in computer science, whether you're in photography, whether you're someone who creates content, it doesn't matter. It is going to be impacting everyone's life, and you would be using it in your everyday life. And that's really, hopefully, the message that I want to get into this video. So, really, I want to talk about different applications of what I think AI would be used in. Um, and I wanna also. I think a lot of this has already been true, and a lot of this are just predictions, like my own predictions, and some stuff that I have discussed with others as well. So the first thing that I think that AI would probably be used in is, I think it's gonna be used a lot in robotics. Um, right now, I have a feeling that they're working on how it can enhance our current robotic capabilities. And I think having artificial intelligence in that equation would change things. So, really, if I have to make a comparison, if y'all have seen Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie, and pretty much all the Iron Man movies or Marvel in general, it's pretty much, Tony Stark talking to his Jarvis, right? Jarvis is his artificial intelligence um, robot, which basically is able to, it's almost like his virtual assistant, but essentially it helps him in his daily life. And I think we're going to eventually get there where we're going to be able to have a virtual assistant in our daily life. Um, and robotics is a big component over there. And it's not just robotics is one application, but it's just like having a voice assistant, which we do have in today's world. We have Alexa, we have Google, we have all these amazing voice assistant devices. But when it comes to AI, it's going to be a lot more dynamic, and it's probably going to be a lot more faster, and it's going to be able to make decisions much better, and it's going to be able to learn what you do in a more granular way, and it's almost going to be like your friend. It's very weird saying that, but it is I think it's going to get to that level where, you know I wake up, and maybe AI is like, "Hey, Langston, um, you have your work schedule as XYZ next week. You have meetings next week, or you might be having meetings next week, or things of that sort. It might be able to predict things based on what you have already done, which to some level we do have it over here already. But that's what I think is going to happen, and it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to that. Um, I also see the AI, it's going to be used heavily in the world of content creation, where basically, which technically it already is being used in the world of content creation, um, where you can basically ask, like, for example, right now we have a tool like DAL-A, which is basically able to generate a video for you, no, sorry, a picture, where you give it certain criteria. And I talked about this in my previous podcast as well. So this has been already done a year ago, where I can type in anything. I'll be like, hey, I want generate a picture for me with a dog sitting on a couch. And it's going to be able to do that based on all the data it has, all the models it has, and everything, which is great, right? I think, and I think it's going to go towards that. It's eventually going to be able to even generate video where you can basically ask it to be like, hey, generate a video of a dog chasing a cat. And it's going to be able to generate that for you effortlessly. And, we're getting there. It's definitely going to require a lot of hardware and all this kind of good stuff, which, we do have. And we're building towards that. But I think it's going to definitely uh, play a huge role in that space. And I think it's going to be a game changer for a lot of content creators. And it's probably even going to affect some content creators. But I mean, I don't think you can really replace what a photographer or a videographer makes. But it's just that we have a lot of data out there which can help you generate that. Um, and again, this is not going to replace people. It's just going to make things a lot more easier to do. So it's just getting your work done faster. Um, so I think it's going to be a game changer. We already have AI tools embedded in things like Adobe. So if you try to edit your pictures nowadays, you have AI to basically be able to adjust the lighting for you or make it the way you really want. So your AI tools are already capable of making your pictures look a lot more nicer. Instead of you actually manually editing all that stuff, it kind of already knows, or it kind of understands what most people want. So I think in that sense, it's a big game changer in the world of media, content creation, and whatnot. Um, I think it's also going to be used in the healthcare industry. And in this sense, I'm thinking of maybe it could predict models based on certain diseases or sicknesses and whatnot. But I have a feeling it might not play a huge role, at least it might not be very soon where we adapt to that, because healthcare is again it is a very tricky industry. When I say tricky, I mean it's one of the most important ones. So artificial intelligence, like relying on that 100%, might not be the right thing to do. I don't know. But like I wouldn't want artificial intelligence to predict like, hey, Langston, just because you got sick now, you're gonna get sick in like 2 years. Chances are that might not happen, right? Like maybe I might change my lifestyle, my eating habits, maybe my immune system is stronger, which means that might not happen, right? So we'll see. Um, Now, I've given a couple of examples. So I talk about robotics, I talk about content creation, even healthcare. Um, and essentially, it's also been used in the writing industry, where you can basically be able to generate a piece of content for you, which people have used, or rephrase sentences for you, make it sound better, make it sound nicer. You can even ask it to generate emails for you, which is all basic stuff. And it can also write scripts for you. In the world of coding, for example, it is able to actually write a full working application if you know what to feed it. Um, it is pretty awesome, right? Now, a lot of people think that this might actually be taking jobs away, right? A lot of people think that AI will be, it's replacing jobs, and it's going to replace people, and it's going to do this, it's going to do that, it's going to do this. But what people don't get is, right, this is actually creating more jobs, right? It's creating new jobs, and because it's a new world, right? Think basically what this is. It's basically what the internet was. When the internet just came out, it was a way of looking up information in a much more faster way. So we had Wikipedia, and we had encyclopedia books, which I've never read until date, and we had the internet, right? So previously, you look up information in books, which is a lot more slow, right? Like if I had to research a topic, for example, like let's say back in the day, I don't know, if I was like, how do I create a podcast? Let me look at the books and see what any has anyone written something like that, and it would take me time. When the internet and search engines came up, you could just type like how to create a podcast, and it'll give you blogs and all that stuff. So it's a lot more faster. So getting to a finished product right now versus using books versus using like the actual internet or a browser, the browser gets you to that end product a lot more faster, and it's better for your life, right? So that is exactly what the world of artificial intelligence is. It is either an extension of the internet where it's like, okay, you have so much information on the internet, but you want to be able to get to that in a much more you want to be able to get to that information a lot more faster, and that's where AI comes in, because now we have so much out there, which is an overwhelming field. At least that's the way I look at it. And when AI comes in, it's like I will let you know what is actually important, and it'll help you get to your answer much more faster, whatever that might be, whatever your question might be, whether it's development, whether it's content creation, whether it's cybersecurity, whether it's whatever it is, you will get to your answer a lot more faster. And because we are in a world of heavy information, big data, it's, AI is just going to help us. Um, so, for example, there was a time where you had to learn how to Google, right? Uh, and there are some people who still do not know how to Google really well. Like, Google itself is like, if you actually look at the way you can Google things, it's a lot more different from just typing a sentence. So, I myself am learning that. I'm not the best thing, but sometimes it's more like learning what questions to actually ask Google to get you to your answer, right? To get you to your answer. Now, that is the same thing with artificial intelligence. You're going to be able to know what to ask it to be able to get to a solution. It's not just like, oh, I have AI, everything is solved. So, this is where I'm going to talk about this new term, which you probably heard. It's known as prompt engineering. And that's something that I'm going to be learning. And I think all of you guys should be learning. So, there are courses on that already on Udemy, YouTube, probably LinkedIn Learning as well. I'm going to hop onto that train, and I hope all of you do as well. And let me know in the comments when you do that, what have you learned, because I'd like to learn from you as well. So that's essentially what it is. And now, to summarize all these points, you have you had the internet, you still have the internet, which was a breakthrough from looking up information in an encyclopedia. And now you have something as artificial intelligence, which is basically an extension of the internet, and it's another way of finding information, but it still makes your life a lot more easier. And it's just another way of getting all that information more sorted to be able to make your life easy, or get to your solution a lot more faster. And that's what I think it is. So I think it's great, and it's going to be playing a huge role in a lot of industries, cybersecurity, computer science, and yeah, that's what I think it is. And I'm very excited for this movement, very excited for what's going to come, and I really hope that if anything, it just makes our jobs easier, because that's what we work towards. We work towards technology to make all our lives better, and that's what I think it is. Now, you did hear that I mentioned cybersecurity. So when the internet came along, it was a lot of good that was there, but the internet could also be used for a lot of bad. And just like that, you have AI, which can be used for a lot of good, but it can also be used for a lot of bad, right? You have AI tools that can literally take 3 seconds of my voice, and it can replicate it, and I can make me sound sad, it can make me sound angry, it can make me sound whatever. So I think I'll talk about that in another podcast maybe, but that's essentially what it is, right? And now when I say this, there's like a whole new industry where it's like cybersecurity for artificial intelligence. And I feel that's going to happen very soon, where you have jobs, you have cybersecurity analysts specifically for just AI content, AI tools, or something in that realm. And me being in cybersecurity, I think I'm very excited for that. So I don't know, looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be great. And yeah, so I hope all of you enjoy this podcast. It was maybe a 10-15 minute podcast, 20 minutes. But I hope that this information or my insights was able to at least help you understand what's going on right now. And if it does not, comment below. And if it did help you, please comment below as well. It really helps me and my channel and my podcast. So yeah, I really hope this helped you, and I hope to see you in the next podcast. And until then, you have a good day.